Hello again and welcome to the garden. Just an update to show you how it's going after all the severe weather that we had recently. Lots of rain and wind battered all my mealie plants, or maize plants, and I've had to, I think I explained in the previous video, I've had to tie them up with sticks and whatever I could lay my hands on to give them some support and put a bit of extra soil on them. But I think my efforts have kind of paid off, because there are some plants growing on there. That is bearing fruit. There's one there. That one. So a few of them have started growing some corn, mealies, maize, whatever you want to call it. This one's actually got two on the stalk. There's one coming out there, and I think another one going to pop out on that. To put a splint on this to try and give it a bit of a repair job after all that heavy wind. Smaller ones, they don't seem to be doing that well. I think they're in a patch of soil that hasn't got much nutrients in. Didn't have much time to prepare the soil on that. So yeah, I haven't been in the garden for a while because of all the severe weather we've been experiencing of late. So yeah, that's an update on that. Washing line pole is down because we're just digging this out to level the garden, and I'll just put the block of concrete back. I'll dig a hole and put it back, maybe on that side, because it makes more sense, because I've got this fence in the way here, and I normally have a pulley on the window up there for my wash, and this fence is in the way because I had it there, but the wash was dangling across the top of the fence. So that I'll probably put in one of these tires here to help anchor it down. So yeah, I'm still busy building my tire wall using all the rocks and rubble and stuff. I need to get it going a bit further with that. Compost thing is almost full. All the stuff we've been digging out the garden and that. I have to still figure out what to do with the rest of the stuff, and that's the old washing line post, which they cut down to ground level and left it there, and there's a huge block of concrete on that. So I may just put a tire on the top of that and use that as part of my tire wall going across. So that's still got to be sifted out. My neighbour kindly donated me some manure mixed with hay from the farm, so I'm going to mix that up with this soil and use that probably for next season. In the meantime, I dug out the other potato plant there. I'll just take a walk over, just over here it was, and this is what the result was of that one. That was only one going on to 1.5 tires high, 3 tiny spuds, one with a hole in it. Something's been chewing on that, so that was a bit of a disappointment. I'm thinking today I'll dig this one out because the plant is dying off, and I'll catch that on camera so you can see what we get out of that. So this video may be a little bit longer today, but anyway. The other ones started growing some plants, not plants, flowers, which I've taken off because they reckon they produce less potatoes if you let the flowers grow, because that takes up part of the nutrients. So I pulled those off there. These I've just filled them up to the 6th tire now, but they're starting to lean over, especially after all the rain made the ground softer. But I've just topped them up to the top of the 6th tire now today. So that's the potato plants update. We'll take that one out just now and we'll see what's under there. Moving on to the butternut. Just before we had all this severe weather, I transplanted some to try and thin them out a bit. They don't seem to be doing too well. I think the soil is not that great in this area. I did use stuff from the composter, but I was putting food stuff in there, so it's possibly contaminated, too much bacteria in there. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe just to plough this lot over, because it just seems to be struggling. The ones that I gave away to someone that's got an allotment, they say the leaves are not that size. The leaves are still small in comparison. So onto the beans. I had to do a bit of emergency digging here when we had all the rain, because there's As you might be able to see, there's a lot of clay underneath the soil here, so the water doesn't sink in very well. So my bean plants on this side were getting flooded out, so I had to dig a trench to let the water run into that rather than to flood the beans, otherwise it would have killed them off. I've had about, I think 6 meals worth out of these, and there's still more going on there. I'll just use a small penknife to cut those, and I will probably pick some today. Should be enough for another meal there, and they're still doing well, they're going strong. Speedy the tortoise is still there. So those, we'll see how long they last. They reckon you should cut those off and dispose of the plants because they're not good to leave. They can contaminate the soil or something like that, but leave the roots because they produce nitrogen. So I'll just grab my gloves here and we'll go across to, hopefully I've got the camera angle right here. It's a bit difficult with this GoPro with the chest strap. We'll go and have a look what this potato plant has produced here. If anything, I'm not getting my hopes up in view of what I've harvested from the previous two, which was one decent spud and those tiny ones. So here we go. Get the top one off there. Quite a few worms in the soil there, so it's always a good sign. Yeah, this plant's pretty much had it because the insects had a go at it. Something had a go at it. Got all chewed up. Plenty of worms in there. So I'll add the soil back to the heap. I don't want to use the shovel because last time I almost chopped up the potato I dug out with the shovel. So second tire off. Don't see anything inside that one. The soil I put in there wasn't sifted or anything like that, just dug out of the ground on the other side of the garden. Too much clay in there as well, I reckon. And we come down to the plant. Yeah, it doesn't look very healthy at all. Nothing so far. So I don't know whether this plan is working with the tires. I thought I'll just give it a go and see if we get anything out of it. Right, next tire off. That doesn't look like there's anything in that one. Nope. No spuds in there either. So it doesn't look like that one did too well. Get down to the last one. I can see a few roots and things here, but other than that, just get my spade with a broken handle, but it still works. They make them with plastic handles, would you believe? They're not built to last. Right, just to clear that off there. Right, we've got something. There we go. We have a potato. Look at that. That's not bad. At least it's one. It's better than nothing. Put that aside. There's roots and stuff there. That's sort of the bottom of the plant. I'm sure I did put some manure and stuff in there. That's the roots of the plant. It's pretty much dead now. End of the season, basically. Oh, there we've got another one. There we go. That's not bad. 2 spuds so far. Let's see if we can lift this up. think that looks like about it for that one. A lot of roots and stuff in here, but I think that was from other stuff that was in the ground. Like I say, I didn't have time to really prepare the soil nicely. Maybe next year we'll do a bit better. But this is starting to look like it's not really worth stacking the tyres, because they seem to grow in the bottom one, and that's about it. I can't see any others in that. It looks like that's it too. That is my potato crop from that one. So yeah, I'm wondering if I would have just left it at one tyre, if I would have had the same result, because they do tend to keep growing upwards. So in theory you should get more than that. We shall see in a few weeks' time when I dig these ones out, once they've reached the end of their life. Just see whether we get anything out of it, whether this method works with the tyres or not, and I'll do another video at that time, give you an update on the garden and everything, and do like a sort of unboxing, if you like, but of spuds. Untiring, I suppose you could call it. And we'll see what we get out of those. Anyway, I think this video will be long enough for now. I'm sure you've all gotten bored with this at this stage, so I'll do another one in a couple of weeks' time. Until then, stay safe and well, and thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.